This is your Honker highlight. The Honkers led almost the entire game and seemed to get the final out in the ninth, but an obstruction call on Jay Johnson at first base allowed the inning to continue, and the Woodchucks would score 3 runs to pick up a come-from-behind 5-4 victory. The Honkers are now 14-10 on the year, while Wisconsin moved to 9-17. Rochester scored a run in the first inning to back starter Brett Mitchell, and after he allowed a single run to score to tie the score at 1-1 in the fourth, the Honkers answered back immediately with a pair of unearned runs in the bottom half of that inning when Mitch Carricker scored on an error and Corey Jones added another run on a delayed double steal to make it 3-1 Honkers after 4 frames. Meanwhile, Brett Mitchell was in cruise control, allowing just one more run to score over 6 1/3 excellent innings, in which he struck out 10 and allowed just 5 hits and 2 walks. Rochester scored again to extend their lead back to 2 at 4-2 in the 8th when Rance Roundy delivered a bases-loaded 2-out single to score John Tomasini, but Mitchell would end up getting a no decision as the unusual 9th inning unfolded. With Riley Bevel on in relief, Wisconsin picked up a pair of soft singles sandwiched around a strikeout to put the tying run on base with 1 out. Rochester turned to the bullpen where Jay Johnson was warming up, and he would come on to make his season debut. He struck out the first batter he faced to make it a 4-2 game with 2 outs and runners on first and second, and Chad Wright coming to the plate for Wisconsin. Johnson got Wright to bounce softly to Danny Brock at first, and he ran to the bag and stepped on the base as the field umpire signaled out, and the Honkers rushed onto the field to celebrate the win. But Wisconsin's coaching staff argued that Johnson, who had jogged over towards first and apparently bumped the runner as the play was happening, should be called for obstruction, and Wright should be allowed to stay at first. After some deliberation, the umpires agreed with that decision, and the bases were loaded with 2 outs for Joey Hainsfurther. Hainsfurther delivered a line single to Wright that scored 2 runs to tie the game, and a wild pitch to the next batter allowed another run to score, making it 5-4 Wisconsin. Johnson would get the batter to strike out and end the inning, but Rochester was unable to score, and the game ended at 5-4.